Navaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Many guest students are wondering if they would be able to get the audio recordings from this retreat. I guess so. You should approach the office or...
We have made some arrangements.
Okay.
We can contact the class coordinator.
Class coordinator, yeah.
Not me.
Ah. So he'll make announcement, I guess. Do the words Svabhava and Swarupa mean the same? Svabhava and Swarupa. In each of them there is Swa. Swa means self. Svabhava, the state of oneself. Swarupa, the nature of oneself. They don't have to be different, but they can be different when both the words are used. And so the word Svabhava is for Brahman or self. Is Maya becomes the Svabhava of Brahman. And Satyam, Jnanam is Swarupa of Brahman. That's how it is explained. Svabhavastu pravartate. So then Lord Krishna is the word Svabhava. Nadatte kasyadit pavam nacheva sukadam vibhuhu. No. Na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya sriti prabhuhu na karma sanyogam svabhavastu pravartate. There in the 5th chapter of Gita it is said, describing the nature of the self, Swarupa. What is Swarupa of the self? Na datte kasyajit papam. It does not accept anybody's papa. Nachayeva sukritam vibhuhu, nor does it accept any punya. Meaning the papa and punya, it transcends, it is beyond papa and punya, beyond virtue and vice. Meaning that if you perform virtuous action, Atma doesn't accept that. I mean, you cannot influence Atma by performing a virtuous action, nor by vicious action, punya or papa. Because it transcends both punya and papa. They are the vyavaharika level. Atma transcends the vyavaharika level. If he doesn't, then who manages this? There is this karma vyavastha. Things happen according to the karma, and punya and papa, the virtue and vice, play the role. Svabhavastu pravartate. The svabhava, the maya in fact, that is what manages or is in the form of this punya and the papa. So all the vyavahara is carried out by maya or svabhava. So there, Lord can use the word svabhava in the sense of maya. Swarupa is na kartrutvam na karmani. There is no kartrutva in the Atma, no karyatva, no doership, nor does he prompt anybody to do anything, no enjoyership, nor does it prompt anyone to enjoy. Na karta, na karayita, na bhokta, na bhojayita, kartrutvam, karyatritvam, bhoktritvam, bhojitvam. Free from all of that is Swarupa. So in that sense, the words Swarupa and Svabhava have different meanings. But in some case, Svabhava can be used also as one's own nature. Svabhava, one's own bhava, one's own state. So, it is not that Svabhava does not necessarily mean one's own nature, it depends on the context. In some context, But Swabhava also can mean one's nature. What percentage of influence fate and free will have in our life? This is a perennial question about our life of prarabdha and purushartha. Prarabdha, destiny, you call it fate or destiny. Purushartha, self-effort or free will. So what is the influence? What part is played by prarabdha, by Ishvara, by fate, and what part is played by the free will? Together they make up the total thing. It's not percentage. Anything that happens is due to the combined influence of prarabdha and purushartha. Purushartha, free will. Prarabdha, destiny. Meaning that the result of the past karma. Prarabdha, call it destiny, but which is the result of the past karma. So, result of past karma have an influence in the present, and then what I do by my own will also has an influence. How much influence what has? That who knows, Ishvara. So when anything happens right now, for example, what is a part of destiny and what is a part of free will? I can say I am talking, that shows the free will, but at the same time a lot of grace is involved, a lot of other factors are involved to enable me to speak also. You must be there in the first place. The situation is created, so whatever I have not created is prarabdha. In any situation, whatever I confront, you can call it destiny, and the way I respond is called free will. So what I confront in every situation is the result of my past action. And then the way I respond is the result of the free will. That's all we can say. But both of them have their influence in every situation, in everything that happens. Both are involved. There is no pure destiny nor pure free will. Please explain the significance of doing shraddha to departed souls. Shraddha is described as Shraddhaya yat kriyate tat shraddham. That which is done by Shraddha is called Shraddha. Shraddha is typically the ceremony that you perform as an offering or for the favor of the departed soul. Ideally, you perform an action here with the sankalpa that the benefit of this should go to the departed soul. So in this, first of all, there is a belief that the departed soul is in the Pitraloka. So there are different realms are there, different worlds are there. This is the human, the Maryaloka. Pitraloka, the realms of departed souls remains. Sargaloka, the realm of the devatas, gods. And like this it goes. That these lokas, the realms are there is a matter of belief. It has support of the Purana, the scriptures. They talk about this and therefore we accept it. There is no way for us to verify it or deny it. I don't believe. Well, what's the reason why you don't believe? I believe. So, if there is reason to not believe, also reason to believe. here, you see, belief or non-belief, etc. can be by inference. Provided some evidence is there that you can infer that there is Pitraloka or not. There is nothing here that can connect or that can, be a hetu or linga or evidence for Pitraloka. So it's purely a matter of belief. Except that the scriptures have, they describe. So that is the additional advantage there. Figure. If you have Shraddha in scriptures, in Puranas, so then the belief is that the departed soul goes from here to Pitraloka. Vedas say, Karmana Pitraloka Vidyaya Devaloka. A person who has performed the daily and incidental obligated duties, kartavya, nitya, naimittika karma. Karmana Pitraloka. He is entitled for Pitraloka. Additionally, if you perform upasana or meditation, then you also qualify for Swargaloka. Basically, in the olden days, people lived the life of kartavya, duty, and you would accept and imagine that they would qualify for Pitraloka by this statement, Karmana Pitraloka. By karma is meant the daily and the enjoined duties, daily and incidental obligated duties, enjoined duties, Vihita karma, kartavya karma. The people do that. So it's assumed that they go to Pitraloka. And number one, to facilitate their travel from Martyaloka here to Pitraloka, suppose that a journey takes place, which takes 12 days. So, traditionally they perform rituals for 12 days, something different every day, supposedly to aid the journey of this departed soul. So there's some obstacle does not overcome his reaching the Pitraloka. On the 13th day, he is joined with Pitrus. He is treated as a Pitru then. Then Shraddha etc. is performed. And then, so this is to aid the departed soul, so that there is no obstacle to his retaining his Pitraloka. And so we perform some actions for their benefit. We generally think about Shraddha. There are different beliefs about what happens after the soul departs, and some people say he wanders around. All kinds of things that are being said. One of the things is what I said. You can find different descriptions also. So what this one says, it could be. It's all matter of Shraddha anyway, and so on. But to me it makes sense. Because for 12 days journey, ceremonies are performed, so it takes 12 days to make this journey. Some secular Hindus tell me we will distribute food in an orphanage instead of doing Shraddha for departed souls. Now what can we say? It's just a matter of belief. We don't believe, so that's alright. Thank God that they at least do some good karma. And they distribute food to the orphanage. But theoretically, you must only follow the ritual that is stated. That is what traditionalists will believe. Meaning that doing some alternate thing is not a replacement or not a substitute. So you will independently get the benefit of distributing food to an orphanage. But that will not be a substitute for the Shraddha. That's what they would say. Our choice. For people not having children, can they offer Atma Pindam at Gaya or Badrinath? There is this thing called the Jivat Shraddha. People perform Shraddha even when they are alive. When a person knows that there is nobody else behind him with the form rituals, sometimes people do that. It's a very controversial thing whether you can do it or not, who can do, who cannot do that, so I don't know. I don't claim to be very knowledgeable about all these things, so whatever scant knowledge I have, I display it before you. And because somebody wanted to perform this Jiva Shraddha, so we consulted some scholars here, they said you cannot do that. So who can do, who cannot do, I do not know. I mean, it's a very technical matter. Vedanta does not involve that technicality. Simpler. This is more difficult. So we are not indulging to that. How is Asti and Bhati opposition of each other? Isness is enjoyed by everything, but knownness is only enjoyed when there is reflected consciousness like mind, which is witnessing the object. You follow the question? We said Asti, Bhati, Priyam. If a name and form has these 5 aspects, that it is, Asti means that it is. Bhati, that it shines in my consciousness. Opposition means that they are the same locus. Asti always goes with Bhati. Bhati goes with Priyam. Here the question is, how can you say Asti and Bhati necessarily go together? Asti means isness. Isness is enjoyed by everything. But Bhati, that it shines, can only be when it is an object, then you become conscious of that object, then alone it shines. But isness is there, is it not? You follow the question? But how do you know that something is? How is isness also determined? This piece of paper in my hand, it is. When would you say it is? When it becomes an object of awareness. Is it not so? Is there a piece of paper in my hand? No. Because it is not an object of awareness. So meaning that isness is determined by awareness. But when can you be aware of this? When it is. How do you know it is? When you become aware of it. But when can you become aware of that? Only when it is. You follow? So isness, Asti and Bhati, they go together. You say that everything enjoys Asti, but how do you say that unless it is witnessed? So normally the existence of anything cannot be determined without the witness. Sasakshikam. The witness alone determines the presence of something. So that something is. No, but Swami, there are things in the earth below these things, and so they are there, even though I'm not aware of them. There are all kinds of minerals and all sorts of things in the bottom, in the womb of the earth. But how do you say that? You are aware. Paroksha Jnana is there. So without awareness, you cannot become aware of the existence. Without existence, it cannot become the object of awareness. So Asti and Bhati go together with their one thing. When you perceive 2 things together, that means that they are not 2, they are 1. You cannot be aware of Asti without Bhati, and cannot be aware of Bhati without Asti, therefore they are not different. They are not attributes of name and form, that's the Swarupa. So Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam are not 3 things. What is Satyam? Is Jnanam. What is Jnanam? Is Anantam. What is Asti? Is Bhati. What is Bhati? Is Priyam. In case there is any further clarification required, then you are welcome to seek further clarification. In a regional language Bhagavatam, Bhagavan says, why regional language Bhagavatam? I mean, that is different Bhagavatam from the original Bhagavatam or something? Maybe. Bhagavan says, I do everything and get the things done through. In what way he does, what way he gets it done. I do everything and gets it. So, Lord Krishna teaches and makes Arjuna do, isn't it? Kartrutva and Karayitritvam, not Bhuktrutvam. Kartrutvam doing, Karatritvam. That's the prerana. That means, so impel him to do. So whatever you do, ultimately, the impelling comes from consciousness, from Ishvara. So it all gets done to us. Consciousness directly cannot do anything. Requires the instrument, requires the medium. Like electricity requires some fan or bulb to function. Ishvara is consciousness, then he gets done. If Ishvara is with Maya, then he does also. Creates, sustains, dissolves. Then you see what is meant by doing is directly he may create, then things, the universe is functioning. And there are series of causes. So Brahma is one cause, and he creates this, and that creates that, and that creates that. He creates the seed, and that creates the sprout, and that creates the tree, and that creates the fruit, and that creates the seed. So each one is the cause as well as effect. So you can say that Vidyamam Bijam Sanatanam, Lord Krishna says, I am the primordial cause. The intermediate causes are there, so you can say that as a primordial cause he does, and through this he gets done. So, in short, whatever is happening is all happening because of Ishvara. And we become his instruments for him to manifest or get things done. Could you please tell us about the greatness of Swami Dayananda? We just released a book, So, please read that. My experience with him, my experience is coming out in all our talks. That's my experience. I know I'm cheating him, He expected something more than this. Kindly elaborate the yoga sadhana by which the seekers of knowledge can accomplish simultaneously Vasanakshara, Manonasha, Tattva Jnana Prapti. I don't think that this has been discussed here. I do not know to what extent I should dwell upon these things when I am sitting here. And so, alright, so this is some texts mention about this thing, Vasanakshaya, Manonasha, and of course Tattva Jnanam is knowledge of the self. A text called Yoga Vasishtha. That's the origin of these things, and you find this in many places. In Swami Vidyaranyana's Jivanmukta Viveka also, all this is discussed. What it is that what is needed is abidance in knowledge. So knowledge is called Tattva Jnanam. That is what we first gain by Shravanam Mananam. And then you get abidance in knowledge by Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana means maintaining the thought flow, Aham Brahmasmi. So what are the obstacles in abidance of the knowledge? What's the need that we need to perform Nididhyasana, that meditation, for eliminating what we call the Viparita Buddhi? So Shravanam traditionally says that it destroys avaranam or ignorance. Mananam removes the samshaya, the doubts. And Nididhyasana is for removing the Viparita Jnanam or the Dehata Buddhi or identification with Upadhi. So you create a new identification, I am Brahman. Right now, what is my identification? I am the body. So we create this new samskara. I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. From the time beginning, as I reported, I always repeat, I am body, I am body, I am body. Then I am born with this habit of identifying the body, I am the body, I am body. So even after the knowledge takes place, it is likely that this habit or habitual identification of the body will still continue. And that will become an obstacle to abidance of the knowledge. You follow? Because I am Brahman. Now this thing comes in, I am body, because habit. And that's how it becomes an obstacle in abidance of knowledge. It means that we have to overcome that habit. So this is called vasana. What is vasana? Dehosmi, I am the body. It's a primary vasana. Vasana means a natural, habitual tendency that we inherited. Thus, from the time beginningless, there is this identification of the body, and therefore, that I am the body. That is what has been going on from time beginningless. So that's what we inherited. Therefore, that's the primary vasana. What is it? I am the body. And from that, the other subsequent vasanas can be there. I am a man, I am a woman, this, that, and so forth. So this is called vasana, the habitual identification of the body. And therefore, by firming up the identification of Brahman, we will overcome that vasana. What this vasana does is when this thought arises on the body, the mind is deviated from its focus that I am Brahman and is forcefully drawn into the thought of the body. So that's how the mind becomes extrovert. It is deviated from its focus. That is called manas, the extrovertedness of the mind. So now this vasana creates the extrovertedness of the mind. And when the mind is extrovert, then it comes in contact with other things, they create further vasanas. When the mind runs towards objects, then again it creates further vasanas. So each one seems to support each other. So now we have to reverse the whole process. So the extrovertedness of the mind has to be dealt with by deliberately practicing values which can create introvertedness. Amanitvam, Adam. See, manitvam, dambhitvam, all of this is extrovertedness. All of that arises because of identification of the body. What is manitvam is measuring myself with according to the body, and an idea of smallness of myself. So manitvam, dambhitvam, all of these are the products of the identification of the body, the vasana. And when manitvam arises, my mind is drawn away from my focus to the object of manitvam, dambhitvam, etc. So vasana creates extrovertedness. That extrovertedness will create vasana. And the vicious circle is going on. So now we have to reverse the circle. Dealing the two-pronged attack of vasana kshaya and manonashaya. What is vasana kshaya? By repeating constantly, I am Brahman. That's called Tattva Jnana. So what is Tattva Jnana? The knowledge of self, I am Brahman. So use that for creating new samskaras to overcome the samskara of identification of the body or vasana. But when you are doing that, the mind has a tendency to go out anyway, therefore you have to again make the mind free from the extrovertedness. So when mind becomes free totally from all extrovertedness, it's called manovinasha. As the force of vasana reduces, the extrovertedness reduces. When that reduces, the vasana also reduces. So two-pronged attack. The outwardness of the mind is dealt by deliberately entertaining values which make the mind inward. So humility, honesty. So values that we are talking about. Pratipaksha bhavana. That cuts on the manas or extrovertedness of mind. So that also should take place. Plus the attempt to abide in the self. So together this practice is into vasana kshaya and manovinasha. So no obstacle remains, that's how we gain the abidance and knowledge. Is that clear? Can you explain not savignanan, savidya, kama, karma? Well, avidya means ignorance. What does ignorance do? Ignorance brings about the identification of the body or upali. What does that do? That creates a sense of inadequacy, smallness, because we superimpose smallness of upali upon atma, so I feel I am small, limited, inadequate. That creates a desire. What desire? To become free from smallness, free from inadequacy. So desire, behind all the desires is to become free from limitation, free from smallness. So that is called kama. Avidya, ignorance, curiosity, desire. In between there is a step. Is what? The adhyasa, or superimposition. That creates the smallness, that creates desire. When desire comes, then desire pressurizes me to manifest itself as action. So avidya, kama, karma. So what do you do? What's the sadhana? Start at karma. What is sadhana? Starting karma? Make the karma your yoga. Perform the karma with the attitude of yoga offering. So that's how the force of that karma, where the binding aspect of karma is slowly neutralized by performing karma selflessly or as an offering to the Ishvara. Then comes kama. So by nishkama karma, as we say, the binding aspect of karma also is neutralized. So these kama karma aspects are dealt with by nishkama karma. And then when the mind becomes pure, ready for knowledge, then by knowledge, the avidya, ignorance also is destroyed or dispelled. So first you work at the kama karma level by performing karma without kama. That's what we call the purification of mind. And then by shravana, etc., knowledge dispels ignorance. Is 100% inner purity essential for knowledge, for jnanam to manifest? 100% purity. Suppose the only impurity left is in a person is falling prey to the temptation of saving tax by not taking bills for his purchases. That's all there is left. Nothing else is left. So that much, will it work? That impurity is enough for knowledge? No? You ask Swami. Or any other example of inner impurity. This is one example. He doesn't describe himself or that person. It's an example. Does it mean he will have to be born again to overcome this? If you die with this thought of saving the tax, I think you will be born again. What your last thought is what determines what next birth is. This is what I have done all life, is saving tax by avoiding the purchase by bill. There are a lot of deep stuff involved. This is just a superficial thing. The fact that a person is tempted to save a few rupees of tax, then what about, suppose he is given 100,000 rupees, what will happen? The tax is a few rupees which he wants to save. The temptation, 100,000 rupees, a crore rupees, suppose Nachiket dies, what will happen? And it will happen. If this Ishvara finds out, of course he knows, he will put temptations. He will. And therefore, what is the percentage of impurity? I don't know how to measure percentage. But the mind should be essentially sattvic. More or less free from rajasavas. Not 100%. 100% purity only can come when you abide in knowledge. The Sthita Prajna enjoys 100% purity. How is it said? Rajahadi yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha Sthita Prajna stadhochade. When all the desires of the mind leave him. So desire is the indicator of kama, karma, avidya, the residue, impurity. So when all the desires will go in the wake of knowledge, by abidance in knowledge. When you abide in knowledge, that is when you get total inner satisfaction. There is total freedom from kama. That's the only one who enjoys 100% freedom. You don't need 100% freedom. Let us say 90% is okay, Swamiji. 90% will be alright for knowledge to take place. The rest 10% will go when you keep on asserting that knowledge and abidance in knowledge. But when I am tempted by this tax business, so what is the percent of impurity? I don't know how to measure it. Impurity will not go away, you will have to remove it. And as long as impurity is there, knowledge cannot take place. And therefore, you always prepared, ready, work for the removal of impurity. Then knowledge will come, don't worry. These values. As a grihastha, is it valid to pursue prayas, shreyas and prayas? Prayas means worldly pleasure. Shreyas means the happiness of the self in general term. As a householder, is it valid to pursue prayas, meaning the material pleasures or material wealth? For example, if I work hard to get promotion, I'll make my family's financial situation secure, and so it will make my path for pursuing shreyas easier. So can prayers be done with a mindset of a mumukshu? Understand that prayers is not the description of a thing. It is the attitude of the mind. Meaning that you can be performing your job, working, making money, getting promotion, and still it can all be done in the spirit of a contributor or an offering. As long as there is no personal agenda, I am not doing this for myself, I am doing purely for my family, is offering to them, then it is shreyas. So what is prayers? The desire prompted action is prayers. The desireless action will be shreyas. So you can perform this, you can work, get promotion, earn money, provide for a family as a contributor, as an instrument in the hands of God. So then it becomes shreyas. Shreyas is not a kind of action or is not a description of something. It is the attitude that I have. Vedanta teaches us that I am the adhisthana, meaning substratum of the mind. I have Shraddha in Veda and also understand the teaching. But how will I experience being myself without my mind? Mind is only manaseva drashtavyam ehana nasti kincha manasa eva anudrashtavyam. So Upanishad also says it is to be known only in the mind. That is the reason why we are talking about the Antahkarana Shuddhi or purity of the mind. Is that mind that reveals yourself as Brahman. So yes, in that mind, this knowledge or this perception takes place that I am Brahman. So that it is mind. Vishuddha Sattva, mind. But it is not the mind which is a binding mind. It is a mind that is a revealing mind. But yes, the truth about myself is revealed in the mind. So that is why the question of purification of the mind. And then the time will come when the mind will not remain the mind also, it will become one with the self. Then there is abidance of the knowledge. But you require mind to know that I am Brahman. Let me tell you a simple thing. Because this, let me ask you a question. Do you know who you are right now? That I am Bakul. Do you know that or not? Do you know? I am. Do you know? How do you know? Where do you see that? Do you know that I am? How do you know? Where do you know? In the mind? So, I am. That's all. That I am Brahman. Same way, same place. The way right now that I know that I am a Jiva, same way I know that I am Brahman is a Paroksha Jnanam. Even today also that I am a Jiva, I am so and so, he is a Paroksha Jnana. So I am Brahman also is a Paroksha Jnana. So don't have too much stress about this, We already have a Paroksha, because self is a Paroksha. So self is known as a Paroksha only. You don't see, yes I see myself. Now I had darshan of myself last night. You don't. How do you even say that I am limited? Have you ever seen the self? Yeah, I saw a limited self. Did you? It is self-revealing, is it not so? So also I am Brahman is self-revealing. That's why that part is to be replaced. I am Jiva is to be replaced by Brahman. We are recognizing that Jiva is the Mithya aspect in there, the Anatma aspect. So recognize that and drop it. So what remains is, so even in Jiva also Brahman is involved. When you say I am a Jiva, I am is Brahman, understand? You don't become Brahman. But there is lumping together of the self and non-self. And therefore, recognize non-self is not self. Drop it, let it go. What remains is you. You already are there. Along with you, something else is lumped. That's why the process of negation, not this meaning there, that part I am not. Astula mananu harsvama dakshinamati stotra. What is it? Ananave namaha, aharsvaya namaha, dirghaya namaha. Astula vena, astula ananu, aharsvam. You already are that. And so the mind is that fact about you. And the work on the mind, purification of mind and Shavana. Don't worry about how knowledge will take place. It is taking place now, and it will take place correctly. It is taking place wrongly, it will take place correctly. Are violent acts due to intoxication impulsive? We discussed violent actions are whenever we are controlled by the impulses of kama, krodha, lobha and any other this kind of impulse, which is called the asuri sampatti, demoniac tendency in the Gita. So that is a violent action. There is jealousy, hatred, anger, lust, greed. So intoxication, it is being controlled by, overcome by the passion. Then it's not I who acts, it is the anger that acts. When anger overtakes me, then it's not I who acts, it is the anger that acts. Not I, the greed that acts. So I am trying to save that 10 rupees, 15 rupees by not taking a bill and stuff like that. I am not doing that. The greed is doing that. The greedy eye does it. Put it this way. So, any action, impulsive action, is a violent action. Degree of violence will depend upon the degree of intensity of impulse. But an impulsive action involves some violence. When one, while reacting to certain situation, fakes it and makes it, is it violation of self? Now this is not clear to me. When one, while reacting to a situation, when you react to a situation, your free will does not come into play. It's not you who acts, it is the impulse that acts. For faking it and making it, you require free will. You follow? It's a deliberate action that you fake so that you make it. So faking it till making it involves free will. An impulsive action involves impulse. There is no free will. So you cannot do this faking till making when you are controlled by impulses. So, is it clear? Yesterday, while elaborating about ahimsa as a value, you spoke about vegetarianism vis-a-vis non-vegetarianism. You mentioned that even though plants do have life, they are okay to be eaten as they are at the lowest level of consciousness. Can you kindly throw some more light on this? I am never able to convince people who argue about this. See, when there is a choice, it's a matter of making a choice. When making a choice, make a choice that involves a minimum of wastage or minimum of damage. It is true that when we consume food, it has to be live food. Nobody can consume dead things, by the way. Every creature always eats live things. And we also, human beings also eat live things. Vegetables also like that. Although, the way we eat vegetables, most of life goes away. That's a different thing. We cut it and boil it and fry it and all kinds of things. So most of life goes away. That is our accomplishment. But whatever it is you only can eat live food. You cannot eat dead, you cannot eat stones, etc. So life can be sustained only by life. This is the rule. So we are human beings alive, therefore we have to eat only live food. Now there is a choice of eating vegetables is enjoy a very low level of consciousness. As against other creatures which enjoy much higher level of consciousness, then it's a matter of the total natural resources. You must consume as little as possible for sustaining yourself. So while eating vegetarian food, we are consuming the least. Because as I said yesterday, for that life to evolve to an animal takes a long time. Which means that if you sacrifice that animal life, it is much greater consumption of natural resources than sacrificing a plant. Therefore, the sacrificing a plant does involve violence, but sacrificing an animal is much greater violence. In that sense, eating vegetarian food is a non-violent or little violent choice. As we said, we cannot totally live non-violent at physical level. We will involve violence. We can minimize violence. So this vegetarianism is minimizing violence. So you can, that's the way to convince. It is our duty to consume the minimum. More you consume, more violent you are. So this life of consumption means life of greater violence. It may not be evident to us when we eat some, we eat consumption at all levels, not only food. But when I consume for my day-to-day requirements also, a lot more than I need. Instead of 2 pairs of clothes, I have 16 pairs of clothes, even 3 pairs of clothes. Instead of 2 chapatis, I consume 3 chapatis because I was tempted to eat more. Need is one thing, and temptation is another thing. When they make idlis and this vadai, then you are tempted. So there is consuming more. More we consume, more violence it involves. Because wherever it is, you cannot see violence here. Children do not realize, this meat comes in such neatly packaged things, that nobody understands that what violence is committed in actually making it. When they show them videos of what happens in all these butcher houses, then they don't know to eat it. Even violence in many ways use more electricity. So, doesn't look any violence here. Electricity comes from generating station, a power generating station, where there is a turbine which drives a generator. The turbine in turn is driven by, let's say, steam. Steam in turn is made in a boiler by burning fuel like charcoal or some kind of fossil fuel, and you are consuming that resource at the same time polluting the environment. So, consuming electricity is a very clean stuff here. But more we are consumed, at the source, it involves more violence. More water, for example, everywhere. everything involves some sacrifice of nature. Nothing comes free. So more we consume, more we are sacrificing. The non-violent life requires a simple life of minimum, as much we can reduce the consumption, that's what we should do to be a non-violent person. The same context, can human being be reborn as trees or plants too? Some trees live for more than 100 years. Is that isn't taken into account? Sure. 100 years of suffering. There are living beings who live much more than 100 years. Even some snakes live 300 years, and I don't know, tortoise lives so many years. 300 years, yeah. Frogs live long, I don't know. But anyway, so it is my karma. My karma, born that I suffer for 300 years, I will be born as a tortoise. 100 years, I will be born as a tree, etc., etc. So, it's all karma, phala. But yes, we can be born as anything, depending upon our karma. You will not be, but a human being can be. How to differentiate a situation as I need to act. For example, what is it? Arjuna's war. I fake it as prarabdha karma and leave it. Now what is this? I take it as prarabdha karma and leave it. So what is that? I need to act as Arjuna. I take it as prarabdha karma. What is prarabdha karma? And leave it. Leaving is not prarabdha, leaving is free will. Once there is a duty before you which requires you to act, it is prarabdha. What prarabdha? Prarabdha is presented a situation. That a battle was presented before Arjuna was prarabdha. Then every situation calls for a proper response from us. That's called purushartha. And therefore, karmanyavadhikarasya, meaning that to every situation we must give a proper response. For Arjuna, the response here is to perform his duty, fight the battle. So this is not a choice. I need to act and I leave it is not a choice. I appear in the exam and I drop out. That's not a choice. Is it a choice? Swami 12's exam. I decided to drop out. Too much tension. But that's not a choice. It's not prarabdha. That's why it's my prarabdha that I dropped out. It's your purusha. It's your free will that I dropped out. I don't know what's the purpose, what the question means, but I'm interpreting it like this. This is further complicated if we consider, for example, Draupadi's initial action which caused Duryodhana's later action. All this leads to confusion and decision. Can you please give steps to decision making? Yeah, but how did you first of all create this choice of doing and not doing? How do you call it prarabdha? What is prarabdha? I take it as prarabdha and leave it? So I do not understand. So decision making is doing what the situation calls for. That's called duty. Meaning that displaying the right kind of response to a situation. That's the decision making. And that response also should be based on the values. Based on the moral values, the values, code of conduct, dharma. So number one, I should respond to a situation, and number two, my response should be in keeping with dharma. That's the decision making. Whether I should respond or not also can be questioned. It is not that you have to necessarily fight the battle, but depends on the situation, what is called for. But duty is generally the deciding factor. For Arjuna, fighting the battle was not fight for duty. Not he was asked to fight the battle, he was asked to perform the duty, understand? People think that Lord Krishna is impelling Arjuna to fight. No! Lord Krishna is impelling Arjuna to perform his duty. For Arjuna, it happened to be fighting battle. It could be anything else. For us, it is not fighting battle, performing the duty. I think we will conclude here. We will keep these questions for tomorrow. And, right? Because tomorrow, 5:30, all this puja is there. They take your attendance and see whether you are there or not. So better go to sleep in time. Then see, it is what Prarabdha and Swami took the class too long, so I could not. You can close the lights. Again, one of our Swami's bhajans which we like to sing often. Gaye Ganapati Jagavandana, Gaye Ganapati Jagavandana, Gaye Jagavandana, Shankara Suvana Bhavani Nandana, Shankara Suvana Bhavani Nandana, Shankara Suvana Bhavani Nandana, Sadana Gajavadana Vinayaka, Siddhi Sadana Gajavadana Vinayaka, Siddhi Sadana Gajavadana Vinayaka, Siddhi Sadana Gajavadana Vinayaka, Kripa Sindhu Sundara Sabalayaka, Kripa Sindhu Sundara Sabalayaka, Kripa Sindhu Sundara Sabalayaka, Gaye Ganapati Jagavandana, Gaye Ganapati Jagavandana, Modaka Priya Muda Mangala Data, Priya Muda Mangala Data, Modaka Priya Muda Mangala Data, Mangala Data, Mangala Data, Mangala Data, Mangala जगवन्दना मांगत तुलसीदास कर जोरे मांगत तुलसीदास कर जोरे बसुहि राम सिया मानस मोरे बसुहि राम सिया मानस मोरे गाइए गणपति जगवंदन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन गाइए गणपति जगवंदन मोदक प्रिय मुद मंगल दाता मंगल दाता मंगल दाता मोदक प्रिय मुद मंगल दाता विद्यावारिधि बुद्धि विधाता गाइए गणपति जगवंदन गाइए 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 गणपति जगवंदन सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः